Dr. John C. Maxwell.
This last year I had a great experience. I was able to play Augusta, this incredible golf course, with Lou Holtz, who is known in the sports world as a very successful college football coach. And although the golf was great at Augusta, what was really great was the evening sessions after dinner back in the cabin. And one night I got on a conversation with Lou Holtz because he coached 6 university teams, of which all 6 of them, when he took over as coach, had a losing record the year before. All 6. And within 2 years of him being the coach, all 6 of those that had a losing record, he not only turned it around, but within 2 years of him coaching these teams, they were in some kind of a college bowl game. And I call that a U-turn leader. A U-turn leader is they take something that's going down, and then they flatten it out. They kill that negative momentum, and they get it going, and then they bring it back at the top, and they get positive momentum. That's a U-turn kind of leader. And to do that kind of a thing, you have to create positive change. Remember this: you can't turn anything around without changing it. Nobody ever said, you know, I'll tell you why I was so successful. I took something that was not doing well and did nothing. I just did nothing. I just said, time will heal us. And 27 years later, we kind of turned around. No. Let me tell you something. Everything that's bad in your life will never be fixed until you change something about it. Everything bad in your organization will never be fixed until there is a change. Change is the indispensable link to turning things around, to testing and proving that you're a good leader. If you and I take over something that's doing well and has momentum, to be honest with you, we don't have to be a leader very well. We just almost have to just kind of carry the baton in front of the group and just kind of run ahead and stay ahead of the group. But when it's going wrong, when it's going down, it takes that's the test of a leader. What do you take that's not working, stop that negative momentum, and then turn it around and give it. If you turn it around, it's always because you produced positive change within the organization. So let me give you 3 or 4 quickly change comments. Number 1, people feel awkward and self-conscious when they have to make changes, when they're doing something new. It's just there's an awkwardness about that. We all feel awkward. And so whenever you're trying to create positive change, you're making people do something they don't want to do. I literally talked to a guy one time, and I was talking about changes in the organization. And he said, well, I know we've gone through some changes in the organization, but I just can't recall them right now. And I said to myself, you haven't gone through real changes in the organization, because there's nothing but pain in those. You know what I mean? You remember them well. Oh my gosh, do you remember when we had to go? Are you with me? So it's always awkward. Do me a favor, drop your pen for a moment and just clasp your hands like this, would you please? That's just like this. Okay, you got it? Everybody got their hand clasped? That's really good. Now, let me tell you something about what you just did. You've done this thousands of times. Let me tell you what you've never done. Move your fingers over one and clasp them. Feel how awkward that is? You know why it's awkward? You've never clasped your hands like that until right now. You're comfortable doing things the same way. Fold your arms for me. Just fold your arms. That's beautiful. You've done it thousands of times. Now change the way you fold your arms. Feel how awkward that is? You know why it's awkward? You've never done it that way before. Now, they're both folded arms. They're both clasped hands. They're both the same thing. But you've never done one, and so therefore it's uncomfortable to you. Here's what I know. Most people are more comfortable with old problems than they are with new solutions. That's what I know. So therefore, people want to stay in the old problems. If you're going to be a U-turn leader and create positive change, you're going to have to get them to cross their arms differently. You're going to have to get them to clasp their hands differently. The second thought on change is that people initially focus on what they're going to lose or give up. when they have to do change. When you ask people to change, the first thing they think about is not what they're going to receive, new and fresh and different and beautiful. They think about what they're going to have to give up. That's why they dig in. The first question a person asks when there's change is, how's this going to affect me? What's this mean to me? What am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to do in that process? Because I know these two things about change, I can still remember when I was 27 and I had to lead my first congregation through a multi-million-dollar building program. And I was way over my head. And I can still remember spending days trying to figure out, how do I take a congregation that people vote on change, including multi-million-dollar building programs, and as a 27-year-old kid, convince them to build this big building and millions of dollars. How do I do that? And I did that. This worked when I was 27. I did this. So I developed a strategy I want to give you right now called Plan Ahead. And this is how to navigate successful change. And can I tell you something? I wrote this down at 27. I followed it. I follow it today. It really works. The letter P. Predetermine the change that's needed. The first thing you want to do is you want to sit down and you want to predetermine what is the change that's needed in my life. Because if you're going to turn something around, change has to happen. Now, you don't want action without understanding what you're wanting. So your whole goal isn't to go in and change something. Your goal is to change something that matters, that works. So only you as a leader can predetermine what that change needs to look like. And the way you do it is basically say, this is what is. I mean, hey, Lou Holt said, I have a losing team. I want to have a winning team. What's it mean to take a losing team and make them a winning team? I asked him that process. And Lou told me, he said, John, I asked the players that were on the team that were coming back, why do you think you lost so many games last year? He said, what I did is I did two things. I listened to everybody that was in that losing environment. I asked a lot of questions until I figured out what the issues were. And then he said that great statement, how does a leader that doesn't ask questions ever figure out what to do? I love that. If you're not asking questions of your people, you don't have a clue where they are. You don't have a clue what they think. And he said, I just asked questions. Arthur Blank, when he bought the Atlanta Falcons, told me the very same thing. He said, John, I just went out on the street and I just asked the fans, tell me, why don't you go to the Falcons games? This is because they stink. They're not any good. Prices are too high. Food costs too much. He said, I just got all those lists. And he said, here's what these leaders know. The answers to the questions you ask will be the strategy that you implement to make the change. The strategy is within the people, but nobody's extracted it out of them. So you got to predetermine. You got to predetermine the change that is needed. And I think you do that by finding out where the people are, asking the question. After a while, you got it. The picture begins to be clear. The letter A, lay out your steps. Now, I've got to lay out my steps to bring people through successful change. If I walk close to the people through this change, I'll be their leader. If I walk far ahead of the people in this change, I'll become a martyr. You don't want to be a martyr. The good news is if you die a martyr's death, you're always special in the hearts of people. Bad news is you're dead. That's just not a good thing. You with me? So you got to do what I call the leadership dance. This is the leadership dance. You can call me the Arthur Murray of leadership. Okay? Here's the leadership dance. This is the way this works. You got to walk ahead of them so they can see where they got to go. But you got to be close to them. They don't be walking far ahead of them. You with me? Yes. Close enough so they can see. You got to walk beside them so they can participate with you in the journey, so that you can listen and you can interact and you can take this journey together. They're in the seat beside you. And you got to walk behind them so that you watch the people that you empower. And the leadership dance is doing all three of those things at the same time. You walk ahead as an example. You walk beside as a friend. You walk behind as a leader that empowers. And once you can do those three things and mix it up with the people, you're laying out your steps very well. The letter A is adjust your priorities. Very simple. Whenever you're going through change, there's no such thing as a pre-game plan that you actualize out completely. Let me tell you the difference between a manager and a leader. A manager is a person who took plan A and won't get off of it because he doesn't want it to change on him. He's got the plan out. He's got the strategy out. Don't mess with it. This is the strategy. Here, stay right here. Let me tell you, a leader. A leader starts plan A because he knows you have to have a plan. But he, at any moment, is ready to change to plan B because he's found out a better way. If you think you get the answers on the front end, you've not led very much. Your answers come in the leadership itself, not in the front end. That's why plan A never ends up plan A. It's plan B or plan C. Why? Because you adjust and you hear and you listen and you, hey, by the way, you seize that opportunity. Remember, the great coaches are great because they make halftime adjustments. That pre-game plan at halftime has to be revisited. And you have to say, okay, what works? What doesn't work? And the changes you make have to be critical changes, not cosmetic changes. Remember this, cosmetic changes are easy to accept and implement. So people like cosmetic changes. They change the color. They change the number a little bit. And they just love that kind of stuff. It always kind of bugs me a little bit because I sit there and say, and, you know, where are you going with it? Where are you going? Outside they like gray better than black. Okay. What else are we going to do? Okay. And so you want to make critical changes. You don't want to make cosmetic changes. And understand this. As you make these changes, there's always an answer. Don't ever get into that scarcity mindset as a leader that if I go this path, there's no answer down to this path. There's always an answer. And there's usually more than one answer. That's why leadership is such a great art. Leadership is such a great art because you begin to understand that as you lead them, as you journey, you give them the best leadership. And that's why trust is essential in the people with you. That's why trust is essential, so that you can make these changes as you go to get them there. Okay. And the next one is notify your key personnel. Sit down when you're going through changes, and there are two kinds of key people you need to notify. You need to notify your influencers. These are the people that they better say yes because you're not going to get it done without their yes. Their approval is essential. Are you with me? So you got to notify up front the influencers, and you got to notify up front the implementers. They're the ones. Hey, they're the ones that are going to make the dream come true. So you got to get the permission of the influencers for the plan to fly, but then you got to get your implementers because they're going to work the plan. So you notify key personnel. Then you allow time for acceptance. Now you sit down with your key people and you allow them to have time to accept where you're going. Now this is where leadership art is at its highest form, because your only intuition and timing are a result of a leadership gift, or they're a result of giftedness. Whatever you're gifted in, you understand timing and intuition. If you're not gifted in it, you don't have timing or intuition going for you at all. So you're intuitive in your giftedness. Your ability to do timing is in your giftedness. So this allowing time for acceptance, this is where you begin to allow people to have the time that they need to move forward with you. And to do that, you have to, first of all, slow down. When I say slow down, this is something I've always had a problem with. I'm dealing with one of my weaknesses now. I don't slow down well. When I see it, I'm gone. And then I realize, ooh, I got to take people with me. So I come back to get you. But when I come back to get you, it's like, are you ready? And if I come back to get you and you're not ready, I got you. And I'll sometimes go again. And I have to really work hard on this slowing down process, okay? Because naturally I want to speed up. I don't like anything slow. There's not. I just I like to drive fast. Yeah, it's just I have a need for speed, okay? I have a need for speed, okay? And as a leader, what happens is you get too far out in front of your people. Does that mean? And so you got to slow down. Second thing to do in this allowing time is you got to make sure you're clear in your communication. Because when they don't understand, people cannot follow what they do not understand. And so all communicators understand the value of clarity on the front end. So I travel a lot, and I brought this with me because I just love it. When you travel, you just find some funny things that are written. And these are signs in English from various parts of the world. For example, the dry cleaners in Bangkok. I love this. Drop your trousers here for the very best results. So a bunch of people in front of that dry cleaners mooning the rest of the people. Hotel brochure in Italy. This hotel is renowned for its peace and solitude. In fact, crowds from all over the world flock here to enjoy its solitude. This is from a Tokyo hotel. It is forbidden to steal hotel towels. Please, if you're not a person to do such a thing, then please do not read this. In Bucharest hotel lobby, the lift is being fixed for the next day. During that time, we regret that you will be unbearable. Hotel in Athens. Visitors are expected to complain at the office between the hours of 9 and 11 o'clock daily. Is it complaining time yet? Is it? In a Rome laundry, ladies, leave your clothes here and spend the afternoon having a good time. Outside a Hong Kong tailor shop, ladies may have a fit upstairs. In a Rhodes tailor shop, order your summer suits. Because it's a big rush, we will execute customers in strict rotation. Bang! Next! In Copenhagen, an airline ticket office, we take your bags and send them in all directions. It's our gift. We'll just send them anywhere they are possibly. Make your communication clear. Head into action. The H is head into action. Get going. Just start going. You never know the level of commitment from your people until you ask for action. You just never know how committed they are. The letter E, expect problems. Expect them. Why? Because motion causes friction. You start moving. And it's a tremendous leadership mistake to think that you have such a plan that is problem-free. Okay? And that everybody will buy in. So what leaders need to do, this is so beautiful. It's so negative, but it's so good. When I say expect problems this whole process, here's what you got to do as a leader. You got to think the worst first. You got to think the worst before anyone else. You got to speak the worst first. And you got to answer the worst first. You got to do all three of those things. In other words, you got to think what problems are going to be there, and then when you figure out what problems are going to be there, you say, now as we do this, there are a whole bunch of problems we're going to encounter. When you speak it up to the people, they'll say, oh my gosh, he's already figured out that we got, hey, and let me tell you, when those problems occur, let me tell you what we're going to do. When you can do that well, understand you're really helping them with positive change. And the next one is always point to your successes. Somebody said, why? I said, because you always have people point to your failures. I mean, some people, that's their spiritual gift. You understand? They can't find criticism. They're just not very comfortable. And then daily review your progress. Daily review your progress. Why? Because things get off on a daily basis. Things get off course on a daily basis. Problems occur on a daily basis. And I close this section of creating positive change, which is the acid test of leader. I close this because of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. I have what I call the law of buy-in. And the law of buy-in, I think, answers this whole process of creating positive change within an organization. The law of buy-in just simply says people buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. And so what I want you to understand is when people say, can I create positive change within the organization? Can I do a U-turn? Can I turn this around? The question is very simple. How much of the people bought into you? If they bought into you, you can turn it around. Just think as I close of the story I gave you of Lou Holtz that turned 6 university programs around, losing programs within 2 years, had them in college bowls. Think of what happened about the 5th college he went to with a reputation of a turnaround U-turn leader. Can you imagine just the excitement and the momentum of Lou Holtz coming to our college? You know, we just stink. And he's going to come here and he's going to turn us into winners. Okay. Now let me tell you something. It's a phenomenal thing when you have your reputation that you're a problem solver, and it's a phenomenal thing when you have a reputation that you turn things going the wrong way around and you make them positive. Once you get that, this is a leadership edge that you have. It's a leadership edge. It gives you a sense of momentum. It gives you a sense of moral authority that allows you to come back into a situation and where, now here's what I learned a long time ago. When people believe the best in you as a leader, they give their best to you as a leader. So you want to become good at this session, because this is the area that once you can do it and you can do it well, you kind of get a reputation as a turnaround artist, a U-turn leader that creates positive change, and then all kind of very good and exciting things happen. So I wish that for you. I wish that for me. I wish that for all of us.
Now, for a lot of leaders, including me, hearing from John is like drinking from a fire hose. There's just so much practical teaching. The biggest challenge is, how do you take this information and translate it into transformation in your life and your business? That very question is what led us at the John Maxwell Company to create LeaderCore. So what is LeaderCore? Well, simply, it's a leadership operating system for your business. It's a step-by-step plan to implement Dr. John C. Maxwell's core leadership processes into your business so you can 10x your leadership capacity. LeaderCore is made up of 4 elements. Number 1, it's a monthly step-by-step leadership plan delivered right to your inbox. 2, weekly live Q&As with our team and Dr. Maxwell. 3, access to the core community. And number 4, on-demand training for you and your team. Now, before you sign up for LeaderCore, let me show you exactly what you're going to get when you get started today. The entire process centers around the monthly core leadership plan. And what that is a step-by-step leadership plan delivered monthly right to your inbox. In fact, if you decide to partner with us on LeaderCore, you're going to get immediate access to Dr. Maxwell's 30-day growth plan. Now, here's what we know about you. If you stuck around this long, chances are you're looking for some change. Well, change requires a leader, and that's why we're starting with you, because we know that growth is a core leadership process. In fact, one of our core values as an organization is growth, because we know that personal growth increases capacity. If you want to go to the next level, you've got to grow to the next level. The 30-day growth plan is how you begin that journey. In the very first month of LeaderCore, we're going to help you build the process for your own personal growth. We're going to do that by walking you through John Maxwell's 6-step personal growth plan. John's going to help you define 2 to 5 areas you need to grow in to reach the next level of leadership. Now, let me get off script for just a second here and tell you this. In the first 30 days of this plan, as we began to develop it, we walked through the process as well. 2 of the areas that I chose to grow in were, number 1, a choice, attitude, and number 2, a skill, delegation. Let me tell you, it has been a game changer for me, and I know it'll be a game changer for you as well. Once you have those growth areas defined, we're going to help you design a plan to implement those growth areas so you can start seeing changes happen immediately. And that's all going to happen in just the very first month. We feel like this is the easy button for implementing an effective leadership plan in your company. Now, you and I both know, if you've ever led anything, that there's nothing really easy about leadership, but it can be simple. And that's what we're after, a simple solution for installing core leadership processes into your business so you can 10x your leadership capacity. And I'm sure you know that when you lift the lid on leadership, everything else in business follows. Employee retention, productivity, revenue, and scalability. Every month you're going to get a new leadership plan to help you grow as a leader and invest in your team. And by the way, some of the plans will be all about your team and not just about you. You're also going to get a monthly live Q&A with Dr. John Maxwell himself. John Maxwell is the leading authority on leadership. He's written more than 100 books and sold more than 30 million copies. And best of all, you're going to find out what John's secret sauce really is. Do you think you know what it is? Let me tell you. It's taking time to think. During his live calls, you'll get access to John's latest thinking, and that will inspire your best thinking for growing your team. And then you'll get the opportunity to ask your questions as well. You're also going to get weekly calls with a corporate leadership trainer. Now, these are experts in corporate leadership development. These are men and women who coach everyone from solopreneurs all the way up to Fortune 500 companies, and they've been hand-selected for their knowledge of John's core leadership processes. And I promise you, you don't have an issue they haven't helped a leader walk through. They'll be on a live call with you every week, coaching you through the core leadership plan for the month and answering any questions you have related to the plan or your business. You're going to get access to our private leader core group. As a leader, it's so important that you have relationships with other leaders that are outside of your ecosystem. This is our iron sharpens iron environment. It's an online Facebook community designed to develop offline leadership relationships. One of the funniest things I hear John talk about is what he's going to name his final leadership book. He's going to name it Leadership Sucks. And if you've ever led anything, you know exactly what he's talking about. Well, we believe that community makes leadership suck a whole lot less. And as a side note, helping you get in community with other leaders is one of my favorite things that we're doing with this Leader Core community. You'll get to connect with other core members and share what you're learning as you move through the monthly leadership plan. This is a place for leaders to connect that is built and run by leaders. You're also going to get a couple of our best-selling online trainings, the first one being Developing the Leader Within You. Inside this training, John will help you define leadership. We rise and fall on our definitions, and John will give you a clear path to understanding your leadership style, all while helping you define what leadership really means to you. He's also going to dive deeper into the 5 levels of leadership, because the 5 levels of leadership is core to what we're trying to do with Leader Core. We're going to teach you to understand and use the language of the 5 levels of leadership so that you can get permission to lead, get phenomenal productivity results, and then begin to reproduce leaders, which John talks about is how you compound your effort in your organization. If you get involved in Leader Core today, you're also going to get another one of our core trainings, Every Day with Purpose. Inside Every Day with Purpose, John is going to coach you on 3 questions to discover your purpose. Let me tell you this, it's impossible to lead well if you don't understand your purpose. Then he's going to show you what it looks like to live every day as an on-purpose person, and you'll understand the benefit of having clarity of focus and the impact that will have on your leadership. And then finally, John will explain how your gifts and passions, your discipline and determination play into the journey ahead, and how you can begin that journey by taking the next step to living on purpose. So if you get started today, you're going to get the monthly core leadership plan, monthly live Q&As with John Maxwell, a weekly call with our corporate leadership trainers, access to our private Leader Core group, and 2 of our best-selling trainings, Developing the Leader Within You and Every Day with Purpose. And we're also going to throw in a 30% discount on johnmaxwell.com store items for you and your team. That's a total value of $2,785. And you can get all of it for just $397 a month. But wait, it gets even better than that. If you get started today, you can save 50% forever and get the entire LeaderCore process for just $199 a month. That's today only. And because we know that you're going to love this if you try it, we're going to give you another $100 off your first month so you can sign up today and get all the bonuses mentioned above and the LeaderCore process for just $99, and then after that, just $199 a month. So go ahead and click the link below or visit MaxwellLeaderCore.com and get signed up now. Here's the last thing you need to know. Our LeaderCore 30-day money-back guarantee. If during the first 30 days you decide LeaderCore is not for you, we'll refund your entire investment, no questions asked, and you can keep access to the bonuses mentioned above. There's no contracts, and you can cancel at any time. If you're still not convinced, I'm going to let John Maxwell talk to you for just a minute about LeaderCore, and then I'll come back on and I want to answer a few questions, okay? Thanks so much. I'll be right back. Here's John Maxwell.
Richard shared with you a little bit earlier about LeaderCore, which is what I'm more excited about than anything else I'm doing right now. Because I've had a great passion to be able to have a process. That word core it's for people and it's for process. I want to go to the people that are at the core of what I teach and believe, and I want to give you a process that is workable. Because let me say this: if you would become a part of LeaderCore for the next 12 months, I'll never have to convince you to be part of LeaderCore again. The process of what you do and what you learn will change your life. If I look at the books I write, it all became a reality when I became a person of personal growth. Everything basically I've done has been based off of that well that I could draw from of personal growth. And so I want to say to you today, take a journey with me for these next several months. And I'm going to promise you, I'll be on the phone, we'll do some Q&A with you, but with the process that we've outlined for you and all the accountability and our people that come alongside you and the resources we're going to give you, Richard is a proven leader in this world. And we literally hired him because he has done these process programs before to just really help people. And I said, Richard, would you come and help the John Maxwell Company? Would you do something for us that I could have staying close to you, helping you develop, helping you grow process for these next several months? So I want to really encourage you. If you join, wonderful. You're going to be right in on that front. Look, we'll literally have over the next few months, we'll have probably, 1,500, 2,000 people become part of this. But I want you to become part. I want you to be one of the first. Join us with us and get into LeaderCore. I think it'll be great.